you after the game, and obviously you're pretty firm and like, hey, you go back to work, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
How has this week been for you guys?
Back to work. Each and every day. Got back on Monday, watched the film, lifted, had some corrections, and then Tuesday, start for the new opponent. I think that once you lose a game in the NFL, even when you win a game in the NFL, you got to have that mentality just on to the next game. So we always have that around here, and just another opportunity this week against Miami.
It seems like since Sean's been here, that's kind of been a hallmark of his program, consistency. No matter what you do, every day is the same way.
Yeah.
Have you been in situations, whether it's pro, college, whatever, going back, where sometimes it's not like that? Sometimes you can ride the highs too high and lows too low, so you got to maintain in the space.
I feel like, speaking of myself personally, I've playing sports a long time. I understand that, never get too high, never get too low. I'm sure you guys know me by now, being fifth year, answering your guys' questions and having conversations with you guys, that I've had some interesting things to say after losses and have some interesting things to say after wins. So I just try to remain level. My wife sometimes doesn't like that because I'm always like this, but that's kind of how you got to be here at this with this organization and being around football.
You guys were really hard on yourself after last week's loss, saying we didn't find one way to take the ball away. I know it's an emphasis every week, but is it maybe more so this week, knowing how good Miami's defense is at forcing those turnovers?
It's always an emphasis, and even though we're competing against the other team's offense, we always try to essentially compete against their defense too to get more takeaways than them. So we understand that when you lead and turnovers and takeaways in a game, the odds of winning that ball game are they skyrocket. So the more takeaways you get, the more likely you are to win the ball game. So we understand that that's a huge emphasis for us, along with third down and all that type of stuff. So we're always focused on taking the ball away, and unfortunately we weren't able to do it last week, and we're trying to build on it this week.
We've heard the phrase how sometimes turnovers can come in bunches,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe after not 1 week, and then all of a sudden in another game you've got multiple. Last year you guys were able to get multiple turnovers in games 9 times last year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a thing, like that they can come in bunches like that?
I'm a firm believer in it. Yes, sometimes just the football gods are blessing you. They come out the sky and you're able to get some takeaways. But yeah, that's kind of a saying I've always had since high school. They come in bunches, so just be patient, do your job, and keep grinding away till they do.
You guys are talking about how it's a long season and all those things. Is there a sense of urgency, though, to get things right now?
100%. Yeah, I mean, 1,000%. You don't want to let games in early September slip away, because we understand how it comes into December, how the playoff picture starts to roll around. You're going to be wishing, hey, I wish we would have stopped that 3rd and 10 in that first ball game of the season, or we wish that wouldn't have happened. So there's always urgency. You got to win each and every week. You got to win each and every day, honestly, as you're preparing, and then each and every week. And that way, later on in the season, you're not saying, I wish, woulda, coulda, shoulda, that type of stuff.
I know the starters didn't play much in that regular season finale last year against the Dolphins, but when you look at Tua from that game and last week against the Patriots, just what do you see from him looking on film?
Different player. I understand, that was kind of a different situation for him than this year. Obviously, he had a whole season to prepare for. He has all his weapons out there to get the ball to. Playing with a good defense and all that type of stuff. So, obviously watching him on film last year, you can kind of get some things of how he saw some of our coverages and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, he's a different player than what he was last year, and we understand that. He's, a lot better football player, having that off season, especially as a young guy, having that whole off season to prepare and learn the playbook and all that type of stuff. He'll be ready to go.
Outside of that time to prepare, where do you see the biggest differences for him?
I just think his decision making. Obviously, anytime you get pressure on a quarterback in this league, you force him to make some decisions that they don't want to take or they don't want to do. But I think that with that offense that they have, it's keyed around him. It's kind of his offense that he's used to being in, and so having that RPO game, all that type of stuff, he's just understands the offense better, and he's able to get the ball out to his playmakers.
They They didn't have Will Fuller last week. They're supposed to have him this week. He brings a different dynamic to their offense. What's the challenge of preparing for that after not seeing how they ran things last week?
I mean, you just always got to know where he's at. Honestly, they got a lot of weapons. They got a lot of weapons around the field, so you got to know what each and every guy is. We're gonna in practice. We've been obviously keying on a few guys that always knowing where they're at and trying to figure out what routes they may run from there and what they like to do. But Fuller, he's a fast guy, speed guy. Played him in the past. You always got to know where he's at because he can take top off a defense at any time. So just another weapon, another challenge for us in the back end.
Why have you guys been so good under Sean McDermott and you and Jordan together at not allowing the deep ball?
This is a wood table.
Yeah, sorry.
It's not wood. I'll find some. But we emphasize not giving up big plays, kind of being the deepest of the deepest, and we can always rally back and tackle and make those plays. And I think anytime you force a team offense to go 10, 12 into 15 play drives is hard to do. It's hard to score points and it's like that for our offense. So that's just the motto we've lived by since being here is bend don't break and force them teams to nickel and dime us down the field.